Hello everyone and welcome to the Scott Clark Music YouTube channel. My name's Scott. I'm a musician and guitarist based in Newcastle upon Tyne in England, and I thought I'd create this space, this YouTube channel, just to share some of my musical projects which I'm working on at the moment. So as well as posting some original music, some guitar covers, I'm also going to be starting off doing this series of short lessons. So it'll be a series of 5 guitar tutorials, and I've decided to pick a particular style which I find really interesting, and in a style which I think is really enjoyable to play and just really fun to play. And the style I've chosen is the style of the funk guitar style of Nile Rodgers. And obviously Nile Rodgers, great guitarist, and someone who's been a big influence on my own playing. And so as I said, I'm going to be doing a series of 5 guitar tutorials, and in where we're going to be mainly covering songs, because I think the best way to learn Nile Rodgers' technique is just to learn his songs. So we're going to be covering songs by Sister Sledge, David Bowie, Diana Ross, and of course Chic. And for this first lesson, lesson 1, I'm going to start off by teaching some basic 16th note strumming warm-up exercises, which I think will. And also some chords which I think are useful in funk music, and put you in good stead for learning these songs. So we're going to start off with a few warm-up exercises and then go straight on to learning some really fun songs which I hope you'll find enjoyable to play. So for this series I will be including tabs and notation as well as chord diagrams to go with some backing tracks that I've created, just set out the tempo of each song that we'll be learning. And it's just a basic drum beat with set at the tempo of the original songs, and this is just to play along with and practice with, and hopefully you'll find this useful. So we're going to start things off with some basic 16th note strumming exercises. So this is just a warm up. I think this will just sort of give you a good foundation to build on, so when we actually come to learning some Nile Rodgers songs. So the first, I'm going to show you 2 strumming patterns to start off with. The first strumming pattern, I just muted strings, all the strings muted, and the first strumming pattern is just going to be down up, down up, down up, down up. So to demonstrate it, it'll be down up, 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 down up. And the second strumming pattern that I'm going to show you is going to be down, down, up, down, down, up. So it'll be down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So you're sort of missing the upstroke. So the second strumming pattern will be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So it'll be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. I think these strum patterns are definitely used by Nile Rodgers a lot, and they'll certainly be used in the songs that we're going to be covering. So for exercise 1, I just want you I would recommend maybe setting a metronome from about 80 to 100 BPM, and just practicing for exercise 1 just a down up, down up, down up, down up strumming pattern. So it'll be down up, 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 and you can sort of get faster. You can increase the speed of the metronome, so it'll be down up, 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 down up. So exercise 2 will be the same, but with a slightly different strumming pattern. And remember, missing the upstroke, so it'll be down, down, up, 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 down. So those 2 exercises were just to highlight the importance of 16th note strumming, because funk music is all about mastering 16th note strumming on guitar, and Nile Rodgers is certainly in this style as well. So for exercise 3, we're going to still practice playing 16th notes, but we're just going to be focusing on the 7th fret of the A string, which is an E note. So you'll be playing. So for exercise 3, you'll be playing the note, the E note, and then muting 3 times. And again, with this exercise, you can increase the speed, and I would recommend playing it with a metronome. importance of the 16th note strumming in funk music. You try that with both strumming patterns, so down, up, 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 down. And strumming pattern 2, so down, down, up, 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 down. For exercise 4, it's just a simple hammer on from the 5th to the 7th fret on the A string. Just sort of hammer on and having a muted string in between accenting the first beat. It's just as a warm-up exercise. So exercise 4 would be this will come in useful when we start to cover the songs, and as there's a few short like sort of single string melody lines in there with the muted string as well. So this will be really useful, so a useful warm-up exercise to have for when we cover songs later. Exercise 5 is going to be playing 16th notes using the minor 7 chord, so it'll be A minor 7, and again accent using the 2 strumming patterns. So strumming pattern 1 using the A minor 7, so that's the 5th fret of the E string and the 7th fret of the A string, and then just bar at the 5th fret. So a bar at the 5th fret with the 7th fret of the A string. So that's the A minor 7. So the A minor for strumming pattern 1, we're going to go, remember, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, so it'll be. So, and then strumming pattern 2, down, down, up, down, down, up. So for exercise 7, we're just going to look at a simple 3-chord progression. So it'll be A minor 7, D minor 7, and E minor 7. So there's the 3 chords that we're going to be using. So the exercise is going to go. It's just going to be a simple 3-chord progression of A minor 7, D minor 7, and E minor 7. And what I want you to do is just to practice playing them in a funk style, so and accenting the chords on different beats. So just practice the 2 strumming patterns, the down up, and the down up strumming pattern of 16th notes, and just play them in a funk style. So you could go. So Nile Rodgers often talks about using fragments of chords, like breaking chords down, and he doesn't tend to use full chords like the full A minor 7. So for this next exercise, for exercise 8, I want you to play the same chord progression, so it'll be A minor 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, but just highlighting certain strings. So it would be the 7th fret on the D string, the 5th fret on the G string, and the 5th fret on the B string. So highlighting those 3 strings and muting all the other strings. So and you can sort of come up with your own sort of strumming pattern for this, and or you can use the 2 strumming patterns which I've showed previously, and just practice playing it in a funk style and just highlighting those 3 strings. So for the A minor 7 chord, it would just be highlighting those 3 strings, the D, G, and B strings, and it would just be. that for the other two chords as well. So for the D minor 7, you would just be highlighting again the D, G, and B string. So it would be 7th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the G string, and 6th fret on the B string. So it would be. And then moving that up 2 frets for the E minor 7. So practicing that chord progression with the fragmented chords and just highlighting those 3 strings, it would sound like this. For exercise 9, I've just come up with like a basic sort of funky riff. This is just to get used to muting other strings and only highlighting certain strings. So it'll just be using the D and G string. So the riff is. So see what's going on there. So it'll be a hammer on from the 5th to the 7th fret. So it'll be, and then muting twice, and then the 5th fret of the G string. And you can add some vibrato in there. So the riff is. So it's just hammer on 5 to 7, 2 on the 5th fret of the G string, and then back to 7 on the D string, then another hammer on from 5 to 7 on the D string. So the whole riff is. And then for exercise 10, we're just going to combine the riff with that chord progression of A minor 7, D minor 7, and E minor 7. So it's going to follow that chord progression. You're going to start off with a riff, and then you're going to do some hammer-ons. Remember about highlighting certain strings. So it would be the D, G, and B string. So hammering on into that D minor 7, and then to the E minor 7. So you would start off. So the progression is going to start off with the riff. So the riff is going to be. To slow it down there. So I've just done those short 10 exercises just as a quick warm-up, and next we're going to be looking at some useful chords which I think will put you in good stead for learning some Nile Rodgers songs, and then we're going to get straight on with learning some songs. So I would recommend just setting a metronome at about 80 to 100 BPM and just going through those simple exercises, and I'll leave the diagrams. I'll include the diagrams for the exercises in the video. And you can, I think they're just a good way to just warm up and playing in this style. And for people who might not be used to this style, it's just a good way to practice getting the grips with some 16th note strumming. And next, I'm going to be showing you some chords which I think are useful, and I'm going to highlight some important chords which I think are useful when learning this style. A lot of these chords you'll probably know already. But there's a few sort of funky chords in there which Nile Rodgers uses, such as like minor 11th, minor 13th, which I'm going to look at. So what I'll do is I'll just play through these chords, naming the chords, and I'll include the chord diagram, and I'll just practice. What I would recommend is practice playing them in a funk style. So sort of sliding in, using hammer-ons and pull-offs, and again highlighting certain strings. So if it's A minor 7, or just highlighting three strings, because obviously Nile Rodgers has said that the more of the chord you hear, the less funky it is. So try just highlighting certain strings. So if it's an A minor 7, just highlighting the D, G, and B string. So the first chord is A major with the root on the E string. Just a basic A major chord, bar chord. The next chord is E major with the root on the A string. So it'll be the next chord is A minor with a root on the E string. The next chord is D minor with a root on the A string. The next chord is a dominant 7, an A dominant 7 with the root on the E string, on the low E string. The next chord is a D dominant 7 chord with a root on the A string. The next chord is an A major 7 with a root on the E string. The next chord is a D major 7 with a root on the A string. The next chord is a D suspended 4 chord. So the next chord is a D suspended 4 chord with a root on the A string. The next chord is an A suspended 4 chord with a root on the E string, the low E string. There's a couple of ways you can play it like that. The next chord is a D suspended 2nd chord with a root on the A string. And the next chord is an A suspended 2nd chord with a root on the low E string, and this one's quite a stretch, so it's the 5th fret of the E string, 7th fret of the A string, and 9th fret of the D string. are transposable and can be played anywhere on the neck. Next chord is an A minor 6 chord with a root on the E string. The next chord is an A minor 6 chord with a root on the A string. The next chord is a minor 11th chord with a root on the E string, so that's just a bar at the 5th fret with a 7th fret on the high E string. The next chord is a D minor 11th chord with a root on the A string, so it's the next chord is a minor 6 chord with a root on the low E string, so it's and the final chord we're going to look at is the F sharp diminished 7th chord, so that's so these are the type of chords which will be cropping up in the songs that we're going to be covering, the Nile Rodgers songs. Nile Rodgers has said that a lot of these chords you would find mainly in jazz music, and in jazz music they would be the foundation of the song, but a lot of the time he just sort of sneaks them in. He said if you can disguise these chords well, then they can work well in a pop song, and I think that's something that Nile Rodgers is really great at, just using unconventional chord voicings and often quite jazzy chords, incorporating them into his songs. So those exercises were just as a warm-up, and we're now going to get into learning some Nile Rodgers songs, and the first song that we're going to look at is Get Lucky by Daft Punk. I think this is a great one to start with because it's just a simple which will highlight some 16th note strumming, which we've already looked at, and we'll give you a bit of freedom to experiment in playing these chords in a funk style. So the chord progression is B minor 7, D major, F sharp minor 7, and E major, and it's played like this. So it goes. So playing the chords in the full voice, so playing the full voicing of the chords, it would sound like this. And the bass line sort of follows this pattern. He varies the strumming pattern throughout the song, and I would recommend, again, like we looked at in the first exercise, with highlighting certain strings. Again, I would recommend experimenting with this song, so adding hammer-ons and pull-offs, and highlighting certain strings as well, so the D, G and B string, so that would sound like this. So it's just a simple 4-chord progression all the way through the song. And I would just recommend playing this in a funk style and getting used to the 16th note strumming. So I thought this would be a good one to start with. B minor 7, D major, F sharp minor 7, E major. that's it for lesson 1, guys. I thought I'd just start with a simple song, just basic 4 chords progression, which just plays on a loop throughout the whole song, and you can just sort of, I thought it would be a good one to start with, so you can just sort of experiment with playing in a funk style, and remembering the importance of 16th notes, and refer back to those first 2 strumming patterns that we looked at, with the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and the down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And I think you can apply that to this chord progression. So that's it for lesson 1. In lesson 2, I'm going to be talking a bit about tone and how to get like a nice funk tone. Also in lesson 2, I'm going to be showing you some more chords, which I think are really useful, and are really sort of jazzy chords which Nile Rodgers uses, and which will crop up in the songs that we're going to be learning. So that's it for lesson 1, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you for lesson 2. Thank you.